If you start overthinking, you won't do anything. Put yourself out, and it's okay to fail, it's okay, but it's the only way to get, it's there's no other way for an artist. How the people will know you if they don't see your painting on an exhibition, if they don't see your painting on an art fair, if they don't see you painting on your studio and your social media.
Hi, I'm Tesa Arcilla. In Choices and Chances, I use my own style of interviewing, honed through decades as an international news presenter and correspondent, to delve into a new topic each week and interview some of the most inspiring people in the world. Life is a series of choices that give us chances to live our best lives. My goal is to turn the wisdom of people I talk to and lessons from my own experiences into ideas you can use. So if you'd like to be inspired by other stories, hit the subscribe button and join the community. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. I really appreciate that you made time to join us today.
Thank you for the invite. I was really looking forward to it. Finally, we can make it.
Yeah, finally. Maria also lives in Australia, so we're actually not too far away. And so we're living in Sydney at the moment, but we're both not from here. So we'll get into the story of Maria. She's an artist. At least, when you first meet her, you say, "Who is Maria?" You say, "She's an artist." And I want to ask you, Maria, how do you define yourself? Because in different times in our lives, we define ourselves based on maybe our job, our career, our role in life. How would you define who Maria is?
Yeah, well, if I need to define like in few words, I would say I love freedom. I'm a free woman. I'm very creative. I'm very intuitive. I'm very curious. I love trying new things, not just in art, like not just in experimenting, because I love experimenting with new materials, new techniques, not just in painting. Trying new sports, traveling. Well, now with kids it's a little bit different. I can't travel too much, but I love traveling, just experimenting. I feel experimenting for me and being curious, that's like my one of my core values.
It
So
already resonates with me because I'm someone who always talks about freedom and choice and curiosity. I always teach that to some of my mentees, to lead with curiosity. I want to ask you about what you mean by freedom. I have my definition for myself. What does freedom mean to you,
yeah,
applied to your life?
yeah, for me freedom is like being able to um express, well, if I explain like in art, for me like painting um is that way where I feel more free, because I can like express my emotions and everything, like honestly, everything that I have like inside, I put it out on a canvas, and it's like a very honest expression of who I am, independently of what the viewer will see about it. Being free for me is like being able to having your own timings, or your own, making your own day different to another, don't having like any structure on it, like any, so just being, and for me freedom is also connected to your inner space, like the meditative space where you can create like your own reality. I do meditation a lot, and that's where also I feel very free, because I can do whatever I want on that intimate space. So it's just connecting with yourself and being present, and on the simple things, that not going free, traveling around the world, and just in the moment, like every day,
Yeah.
in the simple things.
I love that because I also feel free in my imagination. I always loved it. I say that in Europe, I took trains a lot, so I love the train ride, and I have my playlist, and I look out the window, and that's when I'm in my head, and I feel so free because I can imagine anything. But I want to ask you how you merge freedom with, before we hit record, we were talking about the kids going back to school, the holidays. How
Yeah.
do you define freedom in the context of your responsibilities as a mother, as a wife, as an artist? Where is freedom in that when you've got responsibilities in that structure?
Yeah, well, I try to make those spaces in my day-to-day life of with freedom. Like, of course, I have my routine that I need to drop off the kids in the morning to school, to daycare. Then I need to pick them up, and in between, I have my day that I need to organize very well because it doesn't have infinite hours. So that's where I say, okay, I'm gonna do 10 minutes of meditations, and that's where I connect with myself and I feel free. Then I'm gonna go 2 hours to the studio and I put like an alarm on the cell phone. Okay, those 2 hours it's for me. I'm gonna just paint. I'm gonna just not thinking on anything that is happening around the world. Like outside my studio, and I feel very free in my studio. I can do whatever I want. I am connecting with myself with the painting, and I feel very free. So when I find those moments that I'm like without the kids, I put like a timer like on the phone for minutes or hours that I will feel. Playing tennis also, when I play tennis I feel free. So I try to find those simple activities, or just being seated down in my house for a 10-minute meditation to feel that freedom. Because if I don't find that space for me during the days when I burn out, like I'm like very overwhelmed. So I'm very lucky that I'm independent and I can find those spaces a lot during my day, because I know for not for everyone is like easy. um but yeah, that's how I try to. And during the weekends, uh, I don't I don't have any freedom, but it's fine. I have it during the week.
Yeah, that's life. I love how you explained that because that's a great tip. Who came up with that method of just blocking time blocking? So you set time, but it takes a certain level of discipline to actually do it. Because sometimes you set the time, but you don't really do it. You seem to be very disciplined for someone who is in such a creative, free space. How do you do that? How do you say to yourself, okay, this 10 minutes is for this, and you actually do it?
Well, I have been doing it for a while, so now it's kind of I don't think about it. I do
Hmm.
it. Discipline. I feel I need to organize my day the day before. So every night I do like a schedule for the next day, and as I don't have a boss or anything, I imagine a boss. Like, you need to do this. If not, you're going to be like, because when you don't have a boss, like if you don't do that, actually you it's very difficult to organize your days and everything. So I think a key thing that I do is organize the day before, looking at it on the night, and when I start my day, I look everything that I need to do, and I put uh, timers for everything. I like timers because then I thrive very well under pressure. So when I say like, okay, I have 10 minutes to do this, I need to do it in 10 minutes. I have 2 hours to paint, I need to finish this in 2 hours. and
Okay.
and under pressure, I feel good.
That works. It's not surprising to me when you told me a bit about your background in marketing, working for Red Bull. I have a background in advertising, so I worked with FMCG and big corporations, so I know the kind of the stress and the pressure and the deadlines, right? Which is actually what we wanted at the time. You know, it's fun. It makes you feel like you're doing so well juggling all these things. I want to touch on that part of your life because when I asked you before the podcast, when is a pivotal time in your life, and that's one of the things you pointed out was you had a career in corporate, you were in working for a big brand, and then you became an artist. And it's funny because being an artist or a writer or even being a journalist, it's something that when you say as a kid, it doesn't sound serious. Like no one takes you seriously. And then and it's if you said I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, that's different. But when you say I want to be an artist, so two things. One, did you always know that's what you wanted? And second, how did you move from the corporate to saying, okay, I'm going to become this artist that I've imagined?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be an artist since I was a kid. I was always very creative and experimenting, very curious and everything. And my dad and mom was telling me, Maria, better if you study like design or something like that. It's more secure for yourself. And I was like, no, I want to study art, and I'm sure I'm gonna go well. Like, I promise you. And I feel that pressure also. of that. And then when I was in uni, finishing my art studies, I need money to go out. So I started working as a promoter on Red Bull. Um, I, I have you seen those like Red Bull cars that are sometimes in the streets here in Sydney? Okay, I was one of those girls that were inside these cars, giving Red Bull to everyone. And then I was promoted like to the boss of these girls. So I started working on the office every day with a structure, with like obligations. And I was like happy because Red Bull is a really like fun brand and you have really good experiences working there. Uh, and I love experiences and new things. So I was having fun, but I was not painting anymore. I didn't have time because all the Red Bull events were on the weekends, and during the week I was in the office and I was doing well. So, and one day I just woke up and I was like, I don't want this anymore. Like I'm not painting. And people was asking me like, Maria, do you have any painting? I would like to buy something from you. Like, because they knew I was studying art and I was painting in the university, but for just for my studies, like so I was like, okay, what should I do? Because nobody know if in art you will go well, you will go bad. Like it's like, yeah,
A gamble.
it's
Yeah.
difficult. But then I quit to Red Bull, and it was like the best decision I've done ever. Because I 2 week, 1 week later or 2 weeks later, I sold my first painting. That was a huge, a big painting, and that was like the confirmation I needed for trusting myself and trusting that I'm good at what I do, and I was so happy that I saw that painting that was like, okay, I should paint more, then I will sell more. Or I
Yeah.
should sell more if I already sold one. So I quit, and I was scared at the beginning, but then I started selling and I started going to art first to present my work, and that was like a big change for me. I was happy and fulfilled with what I was doing.
I saw two things there. One, when you were young and your mom said, do you want to study design and do something? You're like, no, and I know I'm going to do well. Where did that come from? Where did that knowing come from? Because when I try sometimes to teach people confidence. It's interesting where you got it, to know where you got it from. And I wonder how you would teach someone who says, Maria,
Mm.
how do I have confidence like you did? So first, where did you get that confidence?
Yeah, I feel well. Since I was a kid, my dad put us, we are four siblings, in many sports. We were always like competitive in sports. So I was in the national ski team of Chile in snowing skiing, so in
Mm.
alpine ski. And I was doing sport also in the school, like athleticism and everything. Then I was in the national ski team of Chile, and I feel sport, like being on a competitive place in sport, give me that confidence to, because when you are dedicated to a sport since a young age, you don't party too much. You are more like on a different world with
Hmm.
your friends, because they are going more to parties and you're more into sport. But because I think it's part of my personality, I have been very optimistic always. So when something goes wrong, I'm not going like, oh no, this is so bad. No, I'm like, oh no, this will go well.
Hmm.
If anything happens, this will go well. And I have been very optimistic all the time. And I feel that, but feel sport helped me a lot, because alpine ski is a very solitary sport. You do the races for yourself, and if you go well, amazing. But if you go bad, like you are alone, like you don't have like a teamwork, and that gives me like confidence to, I don't know, to embrace different things during all my life.
Hmm.
But
Okay, that,
but trusting on yourself, like
yeah.
trusting that you have your capacities, because everyone has their own capacities, but sometimes they don't know that they have them, and actually it's you need to discover them.
And given that you're that strong and optimistic, yet years later, yes, you made that leap from the office to painting and you sold your first painting, but you said you felt fear anyway. What were you afraid of and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I was afraid of, because I sold one, but then for living from art, you need to sell regularly. You don't have like a stable, in Red Bull I had like a stable income, so I was afraid of because also I studied being a teacher apart from, because I was afraid of not going well on art. So I
Mm,
thought, okay, if I not go well with this, I'm gonna be an art teacher. Then I can have an income and then I can paint on the side. So I was afraid, I think, of finishing as an art teacher, but not because I don't like being an art teacher. I love teaching and I love kids and everything, but I was like so happy seeing myself in the future as an artist only and selling my paintings. That is what I most love in this world, is painting and selling that to another person that actually liked what you are doing. So I was afraid of not being able to live from my art. um and I embraced it with discipline. Like I rented a studio. I was going there every day. I was painting and painting and put everything on my social medias and going to art fairs. I had to move a lot, honestly, to get my paintings known to everyone.
yeah.
Because if you are alone in your studio without showing you on social media or on different art fairs, how you will do it? Like, it's impossible. So I need to
Mm.
do many things to be in the place where I am now. Like,
Was that scary putting yourself out on social media, or were you comfortable with social media? Because
no,
I find a lot of people our age and older are not very
yeah.
comfortable with social media.
Yeah, I was no, I was always comfortable with social media. Like,
What about with art is very subjective. Some people will love your work, some people will not like your work, and some people might even dislike your work.
yeah,
Um, ha- does that affect you, or you just think, you can't please everyone and it's okay?
yeah, it affected me in the past. Cause you are putting yourself out when it's like a painting. It's like, honestly, it's like your more inner side. That, because in abstract art, it's like expression, emotions, and everything goes out because it's the only way I can like express what I'm feeling. So you put yourself out, and there's people that are gonna see it and okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And before it affect me, because I was like, oh, I want, would be great that everyone loves my painting, but of course there's now I understand that of course there will be people that doesn't like my painting, and will people that will be in love with it. And that's what abstract art is, finally. Like, it's if there are viewers that connect immediately with you and the painting, but I feel it's like one thing, or some people that doesn't like it, and it's okay. Nowadays, for me, it's not a problem. Like, I feel it's okay. Like, not everyone can love my paintings.
Yeah. But how did you get from that point, letting it affect you, to the point of it is what it is? How did you get there?
Yeah, I feel with bad experiences, like
Hmm.
exhibitions that I thought everyone will love my work, and then of course you know that people didn't like it, but everything, and it's like frustrating. But then when you like think about it and analyze all the way back that situation, one, you start doing better on your practice. Like, I try to do better on what that critic was on one of those exhibitions. And two, you say it's okay. Like, not everyone will feel always good with my work. Like, it's like in everything, right? You can't
Hmm.
please anyone and
Hmm. Yeah,
everyone.
everyone. Because I think there are lots of people who are really afraid of putting themselves out there when we know in the world we live today, as you say, if you don't put yourself out there, how are people going to know about you? And you said embracing when you started, you had to do a lot of work, a lot of things to get yourself to a position of where you are now, and embracing with discipline. I really like that. What else would you tell people who would like know that they have to put themselves out there, but are just kind of afraid of doing it, or they think it's going to be a loss of credibility, or they think, oh my God, people are going to laugh at me, or, judgment?
I feel you don't need to overthink it. Like, it just need to do it. Because if you start overthinking, you won't do anything. If I was,
Hmm.
maybe my paintings years ago, of course, weren't what is today, because I have been like putting a lot of effort in being better on my practice and everything. But I was like doing it without thinking it, because it was the only way so the people can know me. So I feel like just doing it. Like, don't overthinking and just put yourself out. And it's okay to fail, it's okay, but it's the only way to get, it's the only, there's no other way for an artist. How the people will know you if they don't see your painting on an exhibition, if they don't see your painting on an art fair, if they don't see you painting on your studio and your social medias? There's no way they can find you.
Yes, 100% agree. And it's funny because the I'm working on something right now in the background, and my goal is to get people to take action. It's stop, as you say, stop overthinking, just take that first step. And for me, if someone takes the first step, I'm very happy because it gives them the experience of what it's like to do it, and then hopefully they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's a great, great, great lesson. And something else you talked about in your life action. First of all, we're both here. There are different reasons why you and I are both here. It's a story in itself. So you came to Australia from Chile.
Hmm.
Why on earth did you do that? And what pushed you to do that?
Well, as I'm very curious, I I've been always wanted to live in another country, and but we need like an excuse for that, because I'm married, and we were married like for 2 years when we decide. So my husband told me, okay, Maria, I want to study a master of business, and we could go to Australia because there we have surf. He loves surfing, and the art for you there, it's really good, so we should try. The only thing is that I was 6 months pregnant from my son Julio. So I was like, okay, but this is the right moment. You are telling me I'm 6 months pregnant to go and leave it to another country and give birth to my son in a country that I don't know anyone. And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, let me think it up until tomorrow. And I thought, okay, if I don't go now, then I will give the birth of my son in Chile, and I will be so comfy with my family around, my friends and everyone, that I think I wouldn't go anywhere after giving birth to my son in Chile. So I told him, okay, let's go, and let's go like now, because I can't travel like at the 7.5 months or something like that. So we should go like in a month or so, and let's do it. So we decided to come, and was the best decision ever. And as I am like very anxious with everything, I started looking straight away for a studio to rent. I started looking for the materials I need, because I was thinking, okay, as I thrive well under pressure. I was okay. I have 2 months to organize myself, rent a studio, paint something, show my work in a gallery. So then, when Julio is born, I can concentrate on Julio, and also I will be a little bit more relaxed with art. So that's what I did. We came here. Straight away, 1 week after arriving. I rent my studio, is where I'm today, here in North Head. Mainly, it's a nature reserve, and I bought all the materials. I start painting, and I start sending emails to every gallery in Sydney. And then I got a meeting from M Contemporary, that is the gallery that I worked for until today. And they told me like, do you have any painting to show us? And I was, yeah, I didn't have like nothing at that moment, but I started painting a lot, like because I need to have something to show. And then I had this meeting with them, and I started with them, and yeah, it was the best decision ever.
You
I didn't
didn't
know
overthink
anything. I
it.
was just, let's do it. It has worked very well for me, that strategy of not thinking very much. But I don't know, maybe everyone is different, so not sure if for everyone is like that. But
What stood out to me is that when you got here, you wanted to get straight to work and have a plan. And thankfully, luckily, and thanks to your hard work, M Gallery called. But what happens when things don't go your way, and when you have a plan and you have a timeline, 2 months, and nothing happens in 2 months? Because I know people, they've given themselves a deadline and it doesn't happen. When it happens to you, has it happened to you? What do you do and how do you feel?
yeah, it has happened. Well, luckily, it hasn't happened like too much. I feel very lucky about that actually. But of course, it has happened, and of course, it's frustrating at the first time when you apply to a residency or you apply to a prize and you don't get selected. But that's when you say it's okay. Like, I can be in everywhere. I can be good at everything. It's okay to fail, and that's where you get the most of, like, the most good things about that one, because you get resiliency. Like, it's good after those situations also to connect more with yourself, more meditation, maybe more breathing, going for a walk on the nature, connect with yourself, and then you will be like calm and you will see the things from another perspective. Like, I am very convinced that everything happens for a reason. So if it's not your moment now for something, it's because it's not your moment. Like, it will come in the future, and now is your moment for another thing. So let's see which is that other thing that it could go well for you in this right moment. So I've always been like thinking like that.
Also, in the fact that Julio and I met your husband, you two seem to be on the same plane and understanding of the level of adventure you want in your life. And because you both decided very quickly to move to Australia, that was a huge
Yeah,
leap for both of you.
definitely. He's a really important support for me, also because he's very, apart that he's very curious and adventurous and everything, he's very structured man. So I am a very abstract woman with structured men combines well. So sometimes I'm like flying in the sky and he's telling me like, Maria, please calm down, put your feet on the ground. This is like this. And I'm like, okay, but I want to go the other way. He's like, no, come here. So
Oh,
it's
that's a great partnership.
competition.
Yeah, yeah, that's no, that's a really, really great partnership. Um, in that, when you now when you see your life and you say that you lead with curiosity, and as I said earlier, I'm a huge proponent of curiosity because it leads to a lot of good things. In that, there's less judgment, there's more understanding. I feel people will be kinder if they were just more curious. Where do you get your curiosity, and why is it important to you?
I think from inspiration, like I, I'm curious, and from curiosity, I get a lot of inspiration, and that's why I think it helps me a lot to be like to let go things, to be more present, to be more connected. Yeah, I'm very curious about like astrology. I don't know much about it, but I feel I love like energies. And I feel that also helps me a lot to thrive during the day and to be like connected and present and everything. And yeah, I feel being curious gives you like a huge advantage for inspiration, not only for art but also for journalism, like for everything. Like if you're curious and you are like trying to know everything and listening to podcasts and reading and everything, you are more inspired and ideas come easily.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really do. And curiosity means setting your biases aside. And for journalism, yes, it's very important because you approach every story with no judgment. And yeah, you might disagree with whomever you're talking to, but it doesn't matter. You were open to listening, and I think that's very, very
Yeah.
important. And something that I wanted to ask you now is, what are you? Because I really wanted to go to your gallery exhibition. I'd love to know what you're doing now. You said that there are some changes in your art that you wanted to do and explore. So what's happening in your life from a art projects point of view?
Yeah, I feel I am in an era of change. So um I'm working on a new collection of paintings that is really intuitive and really free. I have been always working like free, but this is really free because it's without any sketch, without any like route map or anything. So just from scratch. Do you say from scratch? Like from anything? Yeah.
Yes, from scratch. Yes.
That's from scratch. But it has been so impactful in me and powerful because I feel like um, very honest with what I'm doing now. It's a very expressive collection with a lot of texture, working with different mediums that gives different um, yeah, textures and everything, and I'm curious about what the viewers will connect, if they will connect, because I feel that when you are really honest with your work, you can see it on the final result. Like the viewer can see it, can connect easily with it. Of course, not everyone will like it, what we talked before, but the ones that connect with it connect like in a deep way, and they are connecting with you finally because it's like,
If there's something important that you learned in your life, or an insight that you carry with you today, what would that lesson be that you can share with people, that can help them maybe as well?
yeah, I feel, well, we were talking about creativity and all those things, and I feel that creativity thrives when you like let off control and when you focus on the moment. So um and that's where inspiration comes, and that's where things start happening. And it's good, I feel, to always be curious, always being experimenting. um I know it also goes with the personalities of the people. I'm For me, it's easy maybe to say this because I'm like that. But maybe for a more structured person, will be a little bit more difficult to to find a space for creativity and everything. But you can try. Anyone can try. Um, it could be with simple things, just also a little meditation, 10 minutes gives you that freedom because you will be connecting with yourself, just simple as that.
And it doesn't have to be complex meditation, right? You just
Yeah,
stay silent. Just
silent
I do that
breathing,
because it's calming. It is calming.
10 minutes of breathing, concentrating on the breath, and you will connect with yourself, and that is like a free moment for you.
Before we end this, I do want to ask you, what is something you would like to challenge people to think about, that
Yeah,
when they listen to you, they say, "Oh, that's interesting. I want to think about that."
I feel we live in this fast paced world where everything is so fast on social media, and you are connected every day with these TikTok things and Instagram and everything, that you don't have people have they are not connecting with themselves anymore. And I think it would be a good thing to have that space for reconnect with yourself, and that in that way you will get to know you better also. Like it helps for anxiety, it helps for busy. busy people that works in big companies, and they have like very challenging jobs, or for everyone, like for everyone. I feel try to reconnect with themselves will be like a good advice, and try to be more curious also.
I would have ended it there, but I actually thought, hang on a second, you are really good. You're an artist. You're really good with social media. You're good at putting yourself out there. For just some advice for people who want to do something like that, how do you tell yourself, okay, right now I'm going to create some content. I'm a 40-something-year-old person doing this, and it's not. I know you're younger, but it's not that easy for everybody. What would be some practical tips you'd give to people who really have something to share? They have something important to share, but they don't know how to do it on social media.
Some people, yeah, are a little bit scared of posting things. So again, like, don't overthink it and just post it. And also uh, putting time for it. Like, I usually do this. Like, I go to a studio and I say, okay, I will paint for 2 hours. I put an alarm. After that, I will have 15 minutes to post a photo. And that's it. And I'm going to open my Instagram for 15 minutes and I'm going to close it and I'm going to not open it anymore. So I post that photo. I took like a photo of what I'm doing, me in the studio, or only the painting. So I post that photo and then I say, it's okay if they like it. It's okay if they don't like it. If I receive 0 like, it's okay. If I receive 1,000 like, it's okay. I don't care. I will post this. And I just post it. So also with timing, like with alarm. So putting little objectives, like simple, like one photo today after my 2-hour session of painting, that I will do it in 50 minutes.
That is such great advice. And it's funny because for someone who's doing such abstract paintings, you are really structured. You're an entrepreneur to me. Like, you really are. Like, you are able to structure all of these things and do it. And if your goal though is not to get likes, or you say, I don't care, I'm putting it out there, what's the objective? What's the goal?
The goal is to get the people know my painting. Like, I want to show it. I want to show what I did because I like it. And I would love that more people see it also.
If you were to write a memoir,
Yeah,
what would you call it
I
and why?
feel keep it simple. Like, when I was starting, when I get out of university, I was like so anxious about reaching everything. Like, I want to be a very successful artist and I want to sell many paintings and I want to do this and do this. And that was so overwhelming and so anxious, and did many anxiety for me. I don't know how you say that, but I was anxious
Anxiety
about
inducing,
that.
yeah.
And within the years that I'm more calm because I'm doing more meditation and all those things, I realized that small things every day change everything. Like not big goals. It's just post one photo today. Okay, I'm gonna post this photo. I'm gonna paint tomorrow another painting. Okay, I'm gonna paint that painting tomorrow. And just small things. I'm gonna apply for this prize. That is not like the biggest prize in the world, but it's a prize. Perfect. I'm gonna apply for that prize. I'm gonna do an exhibition in this art fair, but like, yeah, going simple, and then you will see like the big picture after. But don't start with like big goals. Also, it's good to have big goals, but I feel it's not worth it sometimes to be like so.
You need to have the big goals and you need to take the little steps,
That's
I
right.
suppose.
Yeah,
It's to get there.
big goals and little steps. Like, keep it simple.
Will you write that book? Should we wait for it?
Maybe. I have
Why
never
not?
written a book, but who knows? I'm curious about it, how it would be.
It's a great process. I'm on it, so it's a great process. Maria, thank you so much for your time. And really, we learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I think you're a very positive person and it's infectious. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tessa, for inviting me. It's my first podcast ever.
Really? Well, you should be
Yes.
doing more. And I say that to the universe. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much,
Thank
Maria. Thank
you.
you for your time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a 5-star rating so others can find the podcast. Thank you for your company and see you next time.